What if the only thing standing between you and financial freedom is not your bank account, but your mind? Think about that for a moment. Two people can grow up in the same neighborhood, attend the same schools, and face the same economic conditions, yet one builds extraordinary wealth while the other struggles paycheck to paycheck for decades. The difference is not luck. It is not connections. It is not even talent. The real difference lives between their ears. Wealthy people think differently, speak differently, and see the world through an entirely different lens. They interpret challenges as opportunities while others see dead ends. They speak the language of possibility while others rehearse the vocabulary of limitation. This is not about positive thinking alone. This is about a complete mental framework that shapes every financial decision, every relationship, and every action taken daily. Today, we are going to explore exactly what separates these two worlds of thinking. Rohn believed one simple but powerful truth. Your life is the direct result of your thinking, not your circumstances, not your background, not your luck, your thoughts. Every single day, the ideas running through your mind are quietly shaping your reality, your relationships, your habits, and yes, your bank account. Rohn often said that to have more, you must first become more. That statement carries enormous weight. It means your financial situation is not just a money problem, it is a thinking problem. If your mind is filled with doubt, scarcity, and limitation, your actions will follow that same pattern. You will make small decisions, avoid big opportunities, and stay exactly where you are. But here is the good news. Thoughts can be changed, beliefs can be rewired, and the moment you begin feeding your mind with new ideas, your entire financial trajectory begins to shift in a completely different direction. Now let's talk about something most people never examine closely enough, the poor mindset. This is not about judging anyone. It is about understanding a pattern that silently controls millions of lives every single day. The poor mindset is not something you choose. It is something that gets built over years, sometimes over generations. It comes from the environment you grew up in, the conversations you heard at the dinner table, the beliefs passed down from parents who were also struggling, and the habits that slowly became your normal. When you hear phrases like money does not grow on trees, rich people are greedy, or we just are not that kind of people, those words plant seeds deep in your subconscious mind. And here is the dangerous part. Most people carrying this mindset have absolutely no idea it is running their life. They are unconsciously programmed to stay broke, and they wonder why nothing ever changes. Now let us talk about the first and perhaps most dangerous trait of the poor mindset, and that is the habit of blaming others for where you are in life. People trapped in scarcity thinking constantly point fingers. They blame the economy for their low income. They blame the government for their lack of opportunity. They blame their parents, their neighborhood, their race, or their past for every struggle they face today. And here is the painful truth. As long as you are blaming something outside of yourself, you are giving away your power completely. Rohn said it clearly. If you keep doing what you have always done, you will keep getting what you have always gotten. Blame feels comfortable because it removes responsibility. But comfort is the enemy of growth. The moment you stop blaming and start owning your choices, everything begins to shift in your favor. Now here is where everything shifts. While the poor mindset looks outward for someone to blame, the wealthy mindset looks inward for someone to improve. That someone is always yourself. The rich face the exact same economy, the same government, the same broken systems. But instead of pointing fingers, they ask a different question. They ask, what can I do about this? Rohn said it best when he told us, do not wish it were easier, wish you were better. Do not wish for fewer problems, wish for more skills. That single idea separates those who grow from those who stay stuck. Wealthy thinkers understand that personal accountability is not a burden, it is actually a superpower. When you own your situation completely, you also own the power to change it. Nobody is coming to rescue you. The moment you accept that truth, your entire financial journey transforms from waiting into building. Now let's talk about something deeply rooted in the poor mindset, and that is the emotional relationship with money itself. For millions of people, money is not just scarce, it is seen as something evil, corrupt, or shameful. You have heard the phrases, "Money is the root of all evil," "Rich people are greedy," "Wealth is only for the lucky few." These beliefs sound harmless, but they are quietly destroying financial futures every single day. Here is the painful truth. You will never attract what you secretly resent. You will never build what you subconsciously fear. When your mind associates money with guilt or greed, it creates an invisible wall that blocks every opportunity coming your way. Jim Rohn understood this deeply. He taught that your beliefs about money determine your financial destiny. If you believe wealth is not meant for you, your actions will always confirm that belief, keeping you exactly where you started. Now here is where the shift becomes powerful. Wealthy thinkers do not fear money. They do not whisper about it or feel guilty for wanting more of it. They see money as a tool, a resource, and a direct reward for the value they deliver to others. Jim Rohn taught that if you want more money, simply find a way to serve more people. That is the wealthy perspective in its purest form. Rich people study money. They read about it, track it, understand how it moves, how it grows, and how it works for them even while they sleep. They respect money deeply because they understand what it represents. The poor, on the other hand, avoid the subject entirely. They change the channel, skip the finance section, and never open a book on wealth. That avoidance, born from fear or shame, is exactly what keeps the cycle of poverty spinning generation after generation. Now let's talk about one of the most dangerous habits keeping people financially stuck, and that is instant gratification. The poor mindset is wired to want everything right now. New shoes, the latest phone, a night out, all before the bills are even paid. Comfort is chosen over discipline every single time. And this pattern quietly destroys any chance of building real wealth. When you spend on wants before needs, you are essentially borrowing from your future self. You feel good for a moment, but the financial pressure only grows heavier. Jim Rohn understood this deeply. He taught that the things that are easy to do are also easy not to do. Choosing the easy path today creates a harder life tomorrow. Instant gratification is not just a spending habit, it is a mindset that says the future does not matter. And as long as that belief runs your decisions, financial freedom will always feel just out of reach. While the poor mindset chases immediate pleasure, the wealthy mindset plays an entirely different game. Rich people think in seasons. They understand that every sacrifice made today is an investment in tomorrow's abundance. They skip the vacation to fund the business. They skip the luxury car to build the portfolio. Jim Rohn captured this perfectly when he said, "Do what is easy and your life will be hard, but do what is hard and your life will become easy." That single idea separates those who struggle financially from those who thrive. Wealthy thinkers plant seeds in spring knowing the harvest comes in fall. They delay the reward because they trust the process. They endure the discomfort of discipline because they can clearly see the future they are building. Long-term thinking is not a sacrifice to them. It is a strategy. It is the foundation upon which every lasting fortune is built, one patient decision at a time. Now let's talk about something that separates the wealthy from the struggling in a profound way, and that is the commitment to never stop learning. Most people treat education like a finish line. They graduate, close the books, and never seriously study again. That is the poor mindset at work. But wealthy individuals treat learning like breathing. They read books, listen to podcasts, attend seminars, and constantly invest in their own personal growth. Jim Rohn himself was famous for reading daily and building his mind like an athlete builds muscle. The poor mindset says school is over, so learning is over. The wealthy mindset says every single day is a classroom. When you stop growing mentally, you stop growing financially. Your income rarely exceeds your personal development. The moment you commit to becoming a lifelong learner is the moment everything in your financial life begins to shift in a new direction. Jim Rohn said something that changed everything for millions of people. He said, work harder on yourself than you do on your job. Think about how radical that sounds in a world that tells you to grind, clock in, and trade your hours for dollars. Most people pour every ounce of energy into their employer's dream while neglecting the most important investment they will ever make, which is themselves. Rohn drew a clear and powerful line between two types of education. Formal education, the kind you get in school, gives you a living, but self-education, the kind you choose every single day, gives you a fortune. Skills, knowledge, and mindset are the true currencies of wealth. They cannot be taxed, stolen, or taken away. When you invest in growing yourself, every area of your life begins to expand. Your income grows because your value grows. Now let's talk about something that quietly shapes everything in your life, your environment and the people around you. Jim Rohn taught one of the most powerful lessons in personal development when he said, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." Read that again and let it sink in. Not some of the people, not occasionally, the 5 people you are around most consistently. The poor mindset, often without realizing it, keeps people locked inside circles filled with negativity, self-doubt, complaints, and small thinking. When everyone around you says it cannot be done, that money is impossible to achieve, that dreaming big is foolish, you slowly start to believe it too. These voices become your inner voice. The conversations you have daily begin to shape your beliefs, your expectations, and ultimately your results. Your circle is not just company, it is your mirror. Wealthy thinkers do not leave their circle of influence to chance. They are intentional, strategic, and deeply aware that the people surrounding them either lift them higher or quietly pull them down. Jim Rohn taught that if you spend time with people who are ambitious, growth-focused, and financially minded, their energy, habits, and thinking begin to rub off on you naturally. This is not about abandoning old friends out of arrogance. It is about making a conscious decision to add voices into your life that challenge you, inspire you, and push you toward your potential. When you change your environment, you change your expectations. When you change your associations, you change your conversations. And when you change your conversations, you change your mindset. Surrounding yourself with people who talk about opportunities, investments, and growth rather than gossip and complaints can dramatically accelerate your journey toward financial freedom and lasting abundance. Now let us talk about something that silently destroys more financial futures than any economic recession ever could, and that is the fear of failure. This fear lives deep inside the poor mindset, and it is absolutely paralyzing. It whispers that you are not ready, that the timing is wrong, that someone else will do it better. So people wait. They wait for the perfect moment that never arrives. They never start that business. They never make that investment. They never take that calculated risk. And here is the painful truth. They convince themselves that staying in a stable job, collecting a predictable paycheck, is the safe choice. But living paycheck to paycheck is not safety. It is a slow financial trap disguised as security. The poor mindset trades the possibility of everything for the guarantee of just enough. And just enough never builds wealth. Just enough never creates freedom. Fear is not protecting you. It is imprisoning you. Now contrast that paralyzing fear with how the wealthy actually experience failure. The rich do not see failure as a dead end. They see it as feedback, as tuition paid toward the education of success. Jim Rohn taught that every failure carries a lesson inside it, and that the only true failure is the one you walk away from without learning anything at all. Successful people do not avoid failure. They fail forward. They take the hit, extract the wisdom, adjust their approach, and keep moving. Think about every great entrepreneur, every self-made millionaire. Their stories are filled with setbacks, losses, and moments of doubt. But instead of letting those moments define their limits, they used them as stepping stones. Each stumble became a setup for a stronger comeback. The poor mindset sees a closed door and stops. The wealthy mindset sees a closed door and asks what it is teaching them about finding a better one. Now let us talk about one of the most powerful separators between those who build wealth and those who simply survive: goals and vision. The poor mindset drifts. It wakes up each morning reacting to whatever life throws at it, with no destination, no map, and no burning desire pulling it forward. Days turn into years, and years turn into a life that was never truly chosen. But the wealthy mindset operates completely differently. Rich thinkers write their goals down. They create a vivid picture of the future they want to build. They wake up every single morning with a clear sense of direction and purpose. Jim Rohn taught that if you do not design your own life plan, chances are you will fall into someone else's plan. And guess what they have planned for you? Not much. A written goal is not just a wish. It is a declaration of war against mediocrity. Vision is the fuel that keeps you moving when circumstances try to stop you. Now here is where everything comes together. Vision without discipline is just a dream. Jim Rohn taught one of the most powerful truths about success, and it is this: success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every single day. That is it. Nothing complicated, nothing magical, just small, consistent actions repeated daily over time. The wealthy do not become wealthy overnight. They wake up each morning and do the small things that the poor mindset considers too boring, too slow, or too insignificant to bother with. Reading 10 pages a day, saving a small percentage of every paycheck, exercising, reviewing goals. These habits seem minor in the moment, but compounded over months and years, they create extraordinary results. The difference between where you are and where you want to be is found in your daily routine. Discipline practiced consistently becomes destiny. Rewiring your mind is not something that happens overnight. It is not a single decision or one motivational video that transforms your financial life forever. It is a daily commitment, a conscious choice you make every single morning to think differently than you did yesterday. The good news is you do not have to change everything at once. Start small, but start today. Change one thought. Instead of saying money is hard to get, say money flows to those who create value. Change one habit. Instead of spending impulsively, pause and ask whether this serves your future. Change one association. Spend more time with people who challenge and inspire you. Change one belief. Decide that financial freedom is not reserved for someone else. It is absolutely possible for you. Every giant transformation begins with one small shift. Your financial future is not written yet. You hold the pen. Start writing a better story today. Everything you have heard today traces back to one simple truth that Jim Rohn spent his entire life teaching. Wealth does not begin in a bank account. It begins in your mind. Right now, in this very moment, you have the power to choose differently. You can choose thoughts of abundance over scarcity. You can choose responsibility over blame. You can choose growth over comfort. That decision costs you nothing, yet it changes everything. Jim Rohn once said that the major key to your better future is you, not the economy, not your boss, not your circumstances, you. So start today. Read one page. Set one goal. Cut one negative voice from your life. Plant one seed of disciplined thinking. The rich did not stumble into wealth. They decided to think their way there first. Now it is your turn. The mind is ready. The moment is now. Make the decision and never look back.